Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Lad TV. I am your host for this video.
Oh, so we're doing the interview right now? Okay.
Oh, well, alright then. Guys, this is a very good friend of mine, Verlisify. If you don't know who he is, shame on you. I'm sure
if you don't know who I am, I'd honestly be a little surprised whether you've heard the good or the bad.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of him at all, you're doing something wrong. Or you're doing, yeah, you're doing something wrong. Because, for those of you who don't know, Verlisify is essentially the dark horse of the Pokemon community. Known for his vehement anti-Smogon opinions, and also for, well, actually one of my favorite series, which is how to use insert Pokemon name here, because, and I just started a series very, very similar to that called Lucky's Looking Glass, which kind of, and the point of my doing that is to show, in a sense, what you show all the time, which is that Smogon is very centralized. There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I'm saying, if a Smogon page has one set for a Pokemon, I guarantee you I can make about 3 or 4 more that are just as good. And we're not going to focus on Smogon the entire time.
No, I was about to say, I'm like, this is already taking a bad tangent. Let's pull back. Let's talk about the other things going on.
There are so many cool and very interesting things about you, especially considering that I interviewed your brother for about an hour and a half, and one of the things that he kept saying is, I'm not the same as my brother, I'm not the same as my brother, and I'm like, well, yeah, obviously, but to the same extent, it makes me think, well, because he obviously said what he thinks separates the two of you, but I'm curious what you view as like the main thing that separates the two of you, besides obviously, you know, sub count, viewership, and stuff like that, because that's a matter of luck more than.
That's a crazy first question. So I'll first start off a little bit more about my channel. So yeah, there's the infamous Smogon war that's going on, but I like to look past that. That pretty much I just kind of value Pokemon as a whole. That I try to keep the spirit of Pokemon more than anything. That I'm just kind of like, alright, I don't feel like you have to use this Pokemon in this way or else you suck as a battle. I want to be like, hey, look at this unusual move that I've won tournaments with it, I've won battles with it. Why is that a bad thing? And then I try to I'm more of like the guide person. I don't do Let's Plays. I don't do like serious battles. I'm just like, here's a fun Pokemon guide and here's a fun troll Pokemon battle. By the way, Smogon, not a huge fan of them. That's kind of how I view my channel right now. So, I think that's pretty accurate.
I would agree. I would say that's very accurate, and I think it's a very good way, like, you should get that, like, embroidered on a pillow or something, because people always think of you as being negative towards one thing, when in reality you're just positive towards another thing. You're positive towards Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm positive towards the spirit, the enjoyment of Pokemon. That causes me to be negative towards the, like, over competitiveness, and then the people that play Smogon, since they are in that over competitive, it just gets a mess. So I'll go back to the first question that you asked, like, what makes me different from Troy? And it is the Ace Trainer Troy, by the way. Like, no, there's no fakes here. It's just me and the Ace Trainer Troy.
Yep.
Like, we always give him crap for that, but it's pretty funny. So what makes us different is that I think it's because I've mostly just had the drive to do this, that he tagged along. He's like, yeah, I've played Pokemon, but I was always a more passionate player with Pokemon. I was always the one that, like, he'd get home from school and he'd play other games and stuff, and I only played Pokemon. I'd call over all my friends. He'd just sell Pokemon. He'd come in every once in a while, but I was the one that dedicated my life to Pokemon, and he was the one that just played it and enjoyed it. Like, that's pretty much it. So when I made my jump to YouTube, I went all in. I did my research, because when you said that there's a lot of luck involved to YouTube, I think that can be mitigated. Maybe we can talk about that later, but if you really understand, like, the YouTube algorithms and stuff, and you know what you're doing, you can make YouTube work better than other people, and I just had that drive. I'm like, I want to play Pokemon for a living, and I think that's really the biggest thing that separates us. A lot of knowledge from just prior experience, and then drive. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much like he followed in my footsteps, because I have a popular twin brother now. Maybe I should try to get some people that care about me, too, and it's a cool thing to be able to help out.
The luck that I was referring to is, like, the startup luck, because there are a lot of people that never get their traction. And I think that's where the luck gets involved, because it's and there's no way around it. It's about who you know, who you're trying to emulate, because if you just upload the same stuff over and over again, luck is the only thing that's going to make people find your channel. Exposure
I feel like
is something, like you said, the mitigating factors. Exposure is a mitigating factor that you really have to take into account. And and that's the thing about this, is that luck is a factor, but you can't rely on it.
Yeah, like definitely there is luck involved, but people put too emphasis on luck, like as a small channel, because it's all about timing. Like timing is a huge mitigation factor. Outside of timing, then yeah, it is very luck based, because I did something that no one had really done before with a new Pokemon game that was like the biggest Pokemon game ever at the point. So I think that that's really where I mitigated enough luck to find success, because everyone's just doing battles, everyone's just copying each other. It was pretty much how I feel about it is like you either tried to emulate the King Nappy and all of his like followers and stuff, that you tried to work with people in his group, or else you didn't really find a way for success. Now, because I knew he was a Smogon player, I didn't really feel like I wanted to work with other people, so I just went for my guides. And since I was new, I did something completely fresh, it reduced a lot of the luck, and it just made me more of a success from that, because I think that that's the other thing. Like, it's either luck or being completely new.
Yep.
And completely different. And I fortunately was able to find my footing, because that was just me. I was the guide guy. I didn't massively like look into Smogon and follow anything. I came up with my own ideas, and I would spend hours, days just talking with friends. Like, I used to work overnight stock at Toys R Us, which was the greatest job ever, because I'm putting toys on shelves all night and getting paid. And I'm already nocturnal, so that was cool. And I was like, this is win-win. I'd be up all night playing video games. I might as well just put boxes on a shelf. It's like Tetris.
Yeah.
And I'm getting paid. I'm paid for real-life Tetris is how I like thought of this legitimately. And one of my really good friends, Alex, he might watch this video. I'll link it to him. I don't know if he will, but he was another overnight stalker, and we always worked in the back of the house, so we were just like organizing the boxes to put on the floor, or anything that wouldn't fit on the floor we would go and bring back to the warehouse. And it's just like a big open room, and we just talked Pokemon all night, every night. And it was one of the greatest things ever, because we had a really cool manager. He's like, did you get all your work done? Yeah. Go have fun with Pokemon then. Like, he was our manager. Our manager was the greatest person ever, and that's what made it so good, because we would just talk Pokemon. It's like, so I've been thinking about how to use not Zygarde, because this was back in like, I think 5th generation was out. So it's like, I've been thinking about how to use Shedinja. It's like, dude, what if we suck on Shedinja and doubles? It's like, oh my god! Like, it was just random brainstorming like that. 99% of the ideas were utter, and now I messed up my hair. But 99% of our ideas were kind of bad, but then every once in a while we'd stumble into something crazy, like, what if we combo this with this, or, yo, did you know this Pokemon gets this move? And then I was like, why don't I make videos and make money?
The thing that I really like about your channel is that you do doubles, but you don't do it in, like, the VGC style. Like, you don't... Like, you're saying, guys, you have to remember, doubles isn't only for VGC. You can do it for other stuff, too. And a lot of people are like, what, you can? I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah, that's been a game mechanic since Gen 3.
Well, interestingly enough, I was like a huge fan of doubles, because back in, I don't even remember, like 2009, 2010, they started Pokemon Showdown. The official, like, not the Pokemon Battle Simulator, but the official first Pokemon tournament was called Pokemon Showdown. And it was before VGC, before a huge championship series or anything, and it was just play doubles. And that's what I started from. I didn't start as a VGC player. I started as playing doubles. And even though I played singles before, I play more singles than doubles nowadays, because it's more popular outside of, like, the official competitive community. So I've always been like that. Now, the VGC community is mad at me. So the Smogon community is mad at me because I don't like them. VGC community is mad because they say I misrepresent them by just playing doubles. Like, the only way to classify doubles to the... That's pretty bad, but, you know, most average players, you have to say VGC doubles, or else they don't think, like, what doubles? You mean VGC doubles. So, like, all the communities are mad at me. It's just a mess, because there's just... I feel people overcomplicate Pokemon. That simply, you just need to break it down to battle spot rules. It's not VGC, it's not Smogon, it's not OU. Battle spot 6v6 can be played as battle spot rules with 6 Pokemon. Yeah, we're good. So doubles is the same and all that.
I could tell you were like checking to see if you were still connected and everything. And
yeah, because like the little internet thing popped up. I was like, oh, okay.
No, you're good. The only time it gets bad is when like it completely cuts out, in which case nobody knows what happened because I just edited it out. And they're like,
Okay.
what just happened? And I'm like, there was a Yeti in my room. I'm not allowed to show the Yeti on camera because, you know,
yeah, that's very understandable. You cannot have the government on you for that.
No.
Well, now you have to cut this out because you can't even talk of the Yeti. Now people just think you're crazy, actually working to your favor. Good job.
And we're back.
Yeah, look at that.
But one of the things that people... Well, that's a story for a little bit later, but a very good friend of yours in the community, of course, Alex Agloza.
Oh, I love Alex.
I've never had the chance to talk to him myself. I'm hoping to get that chance at some point, but one of the things that you've done is that you always make the effort to reach out to people in the community, regardless of whether you've had a feud with them in the past or not, or if you, or even like me with my tiny channel, you're just like, well, this person is invested into it. They believe in it. There's no reason I shouldn't help them out. And
yeah,
at my job, I work as a chef in a restaurant, but one of the other cooks says that they wanted to start a YouTube channel, and they came up to me and they said, "Can you teach me how to start a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "I can." And it's that sort of paying it forward thing, because, and it reminded me of you and Troy about how you said, this is what you need, this is what you need, this is what you need, this is how you use each of those things. And I'm sure for you it was fulfilling in a different way because he is your brother, but for me it was very fulfilling because it was like, I'm literally getting to pay this forward and say, you can have fun and you can do what you love, and if you really, really believe in yourself, you can eventually move out of your parents' house and survive off of it. Yeah. Which is exactly what you did.
I'm gonna stop you really quick on Troy right there. Sibling rivalry is something that comes into play. Because I said, I'm starting YouTube, I'm gonna do this, and all my friends, Troy included, was like, that's not gonna work. You're not gonna get big. Now look at me, 150,000 subscribers. They're like, and Troy's like, yo, help me out with this YouTube channel. So I do it a bit because, you know, he's my brother. I love him and it's cool like that. But at the same time, now I get to be like, I like how your channel has 2,000 of my subscribers in there. Remember when this wasn't gonna work? So, you know,
I like how you say, of my subscribers. They're mine.
Everyone knows they're my subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing about me is, you have, like, one of the things about your channel is that you have a good sub-to-view ratio because you don't just go all over the place. You're not like, today I'm going to upload how to use Smeargle, and then tomorrow I'm going to go swimming and record that. People would be like, what's he doing? He's going to mess up his hair. And for me, it's one of those things of, like, how do you have to centralize, but you can't over-centralize, and I think you're one of the really good examples of people that did that extremely well. You spread yourself to the right thickness, or thinness, however you want to say it, because people know you are the Pokemon guy. They know that. But it's not that you only do guides. Because if you pigeonhole yourself that much, then people would be less likely to subscribe. They'd be more likely to just view the video once and then they're done. Which is why you...
Yeah, the way I see it is that, you know, it goes back to the spirit of Pokemon. And I'm playing Pokemon and think, hey, it's actually pretty cool. I'm just going to make a video about it. And just, like, because that's another thing about YouTube. When you get to this level of exposure, it's kind of like you finally get to get your thoughts out to people. That I consider myself no different from some kid right now at high school, in middle school, playing Pokemon against his friend that has a little group around him, his like anime club group or his friendship group of Pokemon. I consider myself no different, except that people can actually hear me.
Yep.
Like, you know, I'm doing the same exact thing I was doing with my friends, you know, 5 years ago playing Pokemon, just like, oh, hey, what if I do this Pokemon and we go and battle like this? And yeah, like, it's the same exact thing, except now people actually listen to my opinion. So actually I'm going to run away with that.
Yeah.
That's all my ideas that almost no one heard. Now everyone gets to hear them. So friends thought, maybe my viewers will like this because they think it's cool, my friends think it's cool. So that's really where it comes from, is that I just play Pokemon, I'll make a video, and hopefully everyone likes it. Sometimes I don't, because I'm a very opinionated person. The Smogon argument from that, I hate power saves, people that like use cheats and hacks and stuff to a degree.
When we were talking in person at your birthday party,
yeah, I was going to say we also met in person.
Oh yeah,
back to the Alex O'Glow.
Fun fact.
I'll talk with anyone.
Fun fact. Despite the fact that that Tony lives in Seattle, or Verlis lives in Seattle, and we have met.
Yeah.
The first question that people probably thought was like, how the hell did he get a hold of Verlisify? And I'm like, I know his brother and I met him in person. I've been to his house, so you two can suck it.
Well, you don't even have to meet me in person or anything, because I read every comment. How large my channel is, I still read every comment. I read every tweet. And to some degree that is to detriment, because, if there's a negative comment, I'll spend 30 minutes in that comment thread just, like, responding and being pretty aggressive in some situations. But, the way I do it is I try to fight ignorance on my channel is kind of how I do it. But I'll read good comments. I'll read really good comments. I'll go to other people's videos, and if I see someone mention me, I'll just, like, leave a heart. The 3, I'll leave a heart for them. Twitter, I'm always in some kind of argument thread on Twitter or some kind of support thread on Twitter. Like, it's not hard to get a hold of me. I read comments, I read
that's
YouTube
the thing that's the thing that I really like about you, about how because one of the things that I have discussed with some of the other large YouTubers, like A-Drive, I know he's a friend of yours as well, and GlitchX City, who is, she's the music master of the community.
Yeah, I've talked with her on Skype. She's awesome.
Yeah, oh my god, she's such a sweetheart. But one of the things that people like you and A-Drive and Glitch have to... You guys literally have to take the time to manage your social media, because when you're small like my channel, I just hit like 130 subscribers or something like that. When you're small like my channel, you can go on Twitter once an hour and go through all of your mentions, and you're fine until the next hour.
That's a day in some cases. I used to be there.
Oh god, like when I just got back from New York, I was on the... I didn't have access to my phone for probably like 4 hours from, taking off to landing, and, I had one mention because one of my videos went up, and it said, hey, you just posted a video, and I'm like... And it's the same thing of like...
I am my own mention.
I am my own mention. Like, no, I got an email. It wasn't even a Twitter notification. It's just like, hey, your video got posted. And I'm like, good, things aren't broken. But to the same extent, when you break that 50K, which A-Drive just hit, or you break that 100K that Glitch hit earlier this year...
Alex just hit 100K last month.
Alex just hit 100K, which is amazing. And you are... I think like 2 away from 150.
I'm so close to 150K. I'm 150K right now.
And you're by the time this goes up, you'll probably be at 150K. And
let's hope.
When you hit that level of exposure, it's like this. Obviously, when you're at that level, YouTube and Twitch or whatever, if you do that as well, is your full-time job. But what people don't realize is that we don't sit here playing video games all day. We have to pay attention to social media, and we also have personal obligations. We still have to eat. We're human. That's that's one of the favorite things. Is I was talking to a friend of mine who he just surpassed me in subs, and I'm so proud of him because he puts in the work, and he made a schedule for himself, and I'm like, you forgot to put in lunch, and he's like, shit, you're right. Because what people forget is, like, and I'm sure you know this, you can sit down and record for like 6 hours, and then you'll realize, holy shit, I've been recording for 6 hours, I need to go eat.
Well, I mean, before that, I'll, like, sleep, then I'll wake up and be like, I'm hungry. Did I eat 2 days ago?
Yeah,
I lost all of yesterday. There'll be those moments where you put in the grind, but it's crazy like that. And yeah, back to just, like, responding to everything, I still can a very large part of my job. That here's how I see it. I do my hour, 2 hours of video editing, because do 1 to 2 videos a day, sometimes 3, 4, 5, or whatever. But if I consider it like a 9 to 5 job, work 8 hours a day, and I do 8 hours a day, all 7 days a week, like there's no off time, but it's really light load, so it doesn't matter too much. So I'll at least put in 2 hours to just comments, 3 hours for if it's a really heated discussion going on. So I mean, I just value it part of my job. Like, this is my job. There's no reason I shouldn't be reading and responding to comments.
And the other thing about it that I'm sure you've experienced is you see people on the channel who are consistently there supporting you, and it's those type of people that really remind you how fulfilling of a job
They're the
this
ones that
is.
make me think that, yeah, this is unreal, because it's like, no, not this many people cannot care about me this much to a degree. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, again, going back to I'm not special. I'm just a guy that plays Pokemon that people listen to. I know what I'm doing for, like, at least I have, like, that higher level of skill that kind of helps out, because I have a lot of Pokemon that does make me, like, people want to listen to me over that. But overall, I'm considered no different from when I was on the schoolyard talking Pokemon with my friends. So I have hundreds of people commenting every time, telling me how great I am. I'm like, I should be part of your daily routine. I am not that stuff, but it happens. So it's just mind blowing. Sweet.
Yeah, we're good. Sorry, guys. Internet issues on, and I'm sure it's both of us. It's definitely not only him.
Yeah, it's definitely both of us.
It's definitely both of us, because I've had this issue before with a couple people, and he told me beforehand that they may
I can't stream
issue.
right now. Yeah, I can't stream right now. The internet's so bad, so that's why there's no streams. If anyone is watching and wants to know why. But another thing I want to say about, like, Alex, just not talking, not like sticking to Alex, but the idea of everything going on. Yeah, like, I reach out to so many YouTubers and so many people, and over half of them that I just, like, try contact with, they refuse to work with me over the whole Smogon. It should think that it's going to hurt their growth, or that they just don't like me as a person, which is kind of sad on this information. Pokemon isn't competitive, or not Pokemon isn't official, but people treat it official, and it isn't competitive because you're putting so many limitations from the actual game that you take away a lot of the dynamic competitiveness about it. And somehow people hate me over that. It's like, okay, and then they'll either, like, they won't put their channel at risk, or they'll refuse to collab with me and feel like they're bringing themselves down. Like, if you can think of a YouTuber that I haven't worked with to a degree, except for, like, a few that I'm in works with, it's because they've turned me down. Because I went on to A-Drive's stream. He's like, oh, is this the real Verlisma? I haven't heard many good things about you. So I just kept showing up to a stream every day for, like, a couple weeks. I'm like, dude, your channel, your content, your Twitter, your Twitch, everything is freaking awesome. And he's like, oh, you're not a bad guy after all. Same with Glitch, because, like, I've been talking with her and Birdkeeper Toby, because he's up to his own shenanigans, and I was, we were just in chat, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not the evil Verlisma, and we were, like, laughing, and we just, like, had a conversation for, like, an hour and a half. It's like, yeah, so, if you get to know me, it's fine, because, like, as you can see now with this chat, I'm really about the spirit of Pokemon, and some people have to ruin that for everyone, and then some people, they take it really seriously. Alex, I love talking to Alex. I have him on Skype. I have Hayden on Skype. There's a lot of people I've talked with that if you're not seeing, like, direct messages on Twitter or constant communication, they've turned me down. I said in my videos before, Shady, Nappy, they've turned down battle requests. Shofu for sure. So it's not like, where's the battle request for this fight? It's like, no, go talk to them, because I've talked with everyone. I want to work with everyone. They're the ones that hold something against me, and that's the problem.
And that's kind of like one of the things that I talk to with pretty much everybody who I interview is how much this community means to people like us, because a good majority, like, I'd say easily 90% of the people that are in this community are in this community because their in real life social situations are not as fluid. It's not as easy for them.
Well, yeah, it's hard to be a Pokemon nerd and just, like, connect with everyone, or even anyone.
Because, about 50% of people won't admit that they like Pokemon, but that they do. Mm-hmm. And it's those type of people that it's like you should be friends with them, and you could be friends with them, but they are afraid of, like, the potential social downfall on their end, and that's the reason I love this community, is because people are so willing to embrace the love for this children's game, and to let it snowball into something so amazing, where to the point that you have people like Jwitz with over 1 million subscribers who started out by saying, I like Pokemon, there's nothing you can do about it. If you like Pokemon too, there's a little red button down there that you can hit and share that love. And he was on national television. He was on King of the Nerds.
Yeah, he's been places. Like, oh my goodness.
He's legit.
What I want to say about that is I was kind of not like that in school. I was the nerd that outcasted himself. I'd wear a Pokemon shirt, I had a Pokemon backpack. I was always yelling Pokemon stuff. You know, I was just nuts when it came to that because I was that passionate about Pokemon. And the reason I've said like a lot of things, you know, it's like your friend circle in high school, generally the anime club group. So this is only where you get to keep your like passion for Pokemon whenever you're in like high school or any kind of social situation. Because like, yeah, it's not like you just play Pokemon everywhere in high school. No, it's like I said, anime club, wherever you sit at the lunch table, your little corner where you battle in private. Yeah, I've been there. I know what all that's about. So it is great to think about. Yeah, every once in a while, you know, you see trade discussions and stuff like looking for this Pokemon. It's like, you know, there's a lot of confidence that can be like just given on YouTube comments. People make friends there. I've made a lot of friends on the comments. Before I had my falling out with Ramos, he was a fan that I decided like, wow, this guy's posted in every video for like the last 2 months. Seems like a chill guy. I had like, you know, messages with him just in the YouTube comment section. I'm like, yo, add me on Skype. And then we just started becoming friends over that. That's how a lot of friendships begin for me at this moment because, you know, I'm not going outside meeting people. This is my social network as well. It's not because I'm shy or scared or anything. Like I said, I was just outrageously flamboyant with my Pokemon swag. So that's how I express myself.
That's like, it's such... I really like how you describe it, and a lot of other people have described, like, the age range in this community is also what's really impressive, because one of the people that I interviewed, the Mikey J, he's in his mid-30s with 3 kids, and then you have people like, well, I'm not even the... Video Game Rap Battles. He has, like, 146,000 subscribers. He's 14 years old.
Yeah, there's a lot of young people or people that started young, you know. How old is Hayden right now? Isn't he like 19? Didn't he like just turn...
he's like right
he just got out
age.
Of high school. Yeah, he just got out of high school. But he's been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like when he started, he was young.
He was a baby when he started.
Yeah. No hate to Hayden. I love the guy because he's in my Skype. Yeah. Talk a lot about YouTube, you know, but that's kind of the thing you have to look at. And because it's whenever you start playing Pokemon, if you have a webcam and you don't care because you're a kid, you know, you see a lot of people, sometimes they sadly get shit on, and other times